I've been on a few dates where I feel like they rather would have had me be like stuck up, use them for their money, use them and just be kind of like a pretty girl on their arm and not really have a lot to say, which is the weirdest experience to like see the disappointment of like, you're actually not what I thought you were going to be.
Wow. It's
very strange. Very strange.
Impact. 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 In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. My muscle tough as the hustle, the numbers is just that. And I'ma keep winning and sit back. I love the feeling of killing them with that. Attacking the process, tackling topics, master synopsis. This the residual impact, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your man, Brandon Gio.
And your man, Jermichael Moore.
And we are the Residual Impact Podcast. Here we inspire others to find the greatness within themselves.
And then apply it to their community.
You already know.
Man, it's a beautiful day, my brother.
Why is that, my friend?
Bro, first of all, it's because we breathing.
Of course.
Ain't nothing more beautiful than that, because what's the alternative?
You're absolutely right about that. I don't want the alternative. Not yet. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Years, decades, hopefully another century.
You want to be living for centuries, bro?
A century.
Oh, a century. Okay,
yeah.
Understandable.
I mean, hey, if God want to bless me like he did Moses, I don't mind living for centuries.
Hey, you know they talking about, they got like some stuff they trying to reverse aging.
Bruh.
We ain't got to get into that. I'm just saying.
I don't know about all of that.
I'm just saying, brother.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I want no parts. I'm good. You know black don't crack.
Nah, facts.
But, real quick, because you know we got to get it out the way.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, thank you guys so much. And if y'all are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And of course, don't forget to click that notification bell so you definitely don't miss when we upload a new video. And thank you to each and every single one of you guys who are going to leave a comment because I know you want to. And on top of that, shout out to all of our people listening to us on the many podcast platforms you're listening to us on. And with that being said, please don't forget to leave us a review on that platform. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, episode 28, my friend.
28, man.
28.
Come on, bro.
We have come a long way.
I think it's 28. I probably said that wrong, but I tried. Sorry.
I believe you are correct. My Spanish is a little rusty, but I believe you are correct.
Let's go, man.
All right. 28 episodes in.
It is.
And shoot, I mean, I couldn't even hold the surprise in much longer. I mean, if you guys are listening to this, if you're reading the title, you already know what's going on today.
What's going on, B?
We got a very special guest in the building today.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Uh-oh.
R&B singer.
R&B?
Model.
What?
Actress.
Okay.
Songwriter.
Oh,
who is she? She sound kind of fire.
Miss Autumn Jeannette is in the building. How are you doing, Autumn?
Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing amazing, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, because we are happy to have you here.
You really are.
Yeah, no, I've been looking forward to this ever since we met.
Well, speaking of that,
right?
I mean, I think it's only right to let the people know how we met, though.
Yes, funny story. So, basically, we all went to the Roommates Live podcast show, and we walked in at the same time. I think they kind of helped me find the place, or we were all looking for the place together, and they just took me into their, well, I kind of infiltrated their friend group, and they just were so kind and gentlemen to me, and it was really nice because I literally came alone and I thought it was going to be awkward, but it was so nice to just have instant friends, and I truly enjoyed that experience.
Hey, it was definitely like, I guess, divine timing. If you,
you know
what I'm saying?
Big
like
facts.
We got there kind of late.
Yeah.
And we thought that the event would have already started. But thankfully everybody was on CD time, because we got there, we walked in the lobby, and then we saw you, and it was just like, I think we were looking for where the event was going to be.
Yeah.
We looked at a directory, and we saw like it was going to be at the Savannah Ballroom, and we were both like, okay, well, where's Savannah? It's like, oh, you're going to the event? Yeah, so are you? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And we just all decided, yo, let's click up and try to find this place together, because this is a big hotel.
Big facts.
So It was at the W, by the way.
Bruh.
W, West End.
Gotta let them know. B.
Gotta throw that out there. We was all looking pretty dapper, you know.
We
and
were.
the ladies were looking amazing.
Yes, y'all looked very handsome.
Thank you.
My braids were kind of fresh then. I need to get them done again, but you know, that's besides the point.
Sorry, though, B.
I'm still fresh.
Come on, B. Speak it,
All
man.
day, every day.
Let them know, man.
Boy, if you don't get...
But definitely, we're going to do something a little different this week. Normally, you know, we start off asking each other how our week was, but I would love to ask Autumn. Autumn, how was your week?
My week has been amazing. I don't know what happened from Sunday to Monday, but the energy just shifted for me, and I've been on cloud 9 all week.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
really good. That's really
What about y'all? How was y'all's week?
My week was tiring between work and editing. Like, super close to finishing episode 27 and getting that out there.
Sir.
That was the longest episode we have ever shot. 2.5 hours worth of footage. So,
Wow.
yeah, needless to say, my iPad was hot while I was editing that episode. But, you know, by the time that this episode is out, you guys would have already heard 27, or at least you should have heard 27. If you haven't checked it out yet, what are you doing? You're sleeping. So go ahead and listen to episode 27. We had a couple amazing guests on that episode, and much thanks to them, because I think that episode, even though it was the longest, we had great conversation. And we already know, you know, we met at the Roommates event.
Yeah.
We have another guest who we met at the Roommates event. So it's just like-minded people all around. They give us the best conversation. So, yeah, I already know this one is going to be epic.
Yeah.
About to be fire.
It is.
Right.
I love it when I see. I'm sorry to cut you off, B, but I love it when I see like where we are now, and then everything that we've done up to this point. You know, just to see where we have come. It's amazing because it's like all of this. We did not think of all of this when we first started doing
Not
this.
at all.
So to have all of this come together in the way that it has, bro, it just makes me happy to see, man, for real.
Yes, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I said this before. Like, I'll look back at episode 1, and I still check it out every once in a while, and how we did not look like we were prepared at all.
B, I don't see how you watch it. I cringe, bro. I can't look at it. I don't see how you watch it.
You have to. You can't forget where you came from, and
That's real
there's
talk.
always room for improvement. So you got to see where you might have messed up at in the past. That's how you get better.
That's real talk.
You know, you can't go to. Okay, think about
Speak
people
on
who are
it.
playing football, people who are playing basketball. They gotta watch the review tape. They gotta watch the old tape.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, in order to get better, they gotta see where they went wrong in the previous game so that they can improve for the next games.
Big facts.
I can only imagine how many times Jordan watched his, tapes. How many times he's watched his former games and like, listen, this is what I gotta do better. And yeah, that's how you improve, man.
Oh, big facts. So you saying we Jordan and Pippen out here?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay,
I'll leave that spot to the roommates for now. But we getting there. We're definitely getting there. So, with that being said, man, how was your week, brother?
This week, let me actually try to remember, because I'm kind of like Autumn. Like I don't even be remembering what has happened from now until then. Sometimes it just blends all together. But this week was really good. I think I got a little rest, which I'm very grateful for. I can say nowadays I'm very appreciative of when I get some time to myself. I realize I'm just on the go from Monday to Sunday, and I do a lot for a lot of other people. Sometimes I don't take time for myself, and I'm learning that's very important, because if you don't take care of you, you can't expect other people to take care of you, or you can't expect to be your best for other people.
Right.
And,
That is true.
That's just what I'm noticing. So this week I did get some rest, and y'all already know, just making sure that the business is going good, making sure that my other things are in order as well. And I don't know. I'm just in this grateful space where I'm allowing each day to develop and just making the most of each moment. I'm living my life moment to moment. And I don't know, it's something different about it. I'm learning something. And I'm gonna share it with y'all later, but like I'm just learning about living in moment to moment and allowing each moment to be really great, so that the next moment is just as great as that last moment.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, bro.
I love that.
For real.
I need to learn that.
Yes.
So, man, for the day, like, this is one of those episodes where I'll say to everybody watching and listening, where we had notes, but we didn't really have notes. because we already knew that the episode was going to be epic. So we didn't really need to be too prepared.
Nah, son.
But Autumn, please tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, we've had conversations before, so I'm thinking like, man, everybody should know about Autumn. They fall for Autumn. Come on now. We all fall for Autumn. How did you come up with that name, first of all? That username, I will say.
Okay, so actually back in the day, I used to be in a singing group, and all of my group mates, they had usernames like They Love Trin, or just like stuff like, oh, they love me, or like kind of like, I don't want to say self-centered type of usernames, but just like, you know, like I'm confident, I'm kind of cocky a little bit, so I kind of molded it after them. But you know, the lyricist in me was like, they fall for autumn because it's a play on words.
Of course.
Fall, autumn. Ooh. And so I just thought it was a clever way to kind of be like doing the same thing as everybody else, but set myself apart.
Yeah. That's actually really hard. Like, until you said it was a play on words, I was like, hold on. Oh, shit. Yo, that's hard. That's dope.
Thank you. I'm like debating if I should change it or not, because on the one hand, I want it to be just my name now that I'm older, but They Fall for Autumn, it's like kind of iconic. It's like, I don't know.
It flows.
It does.
It definitely flows.
It really does.
Yeah. Drake has Champagne Poppy, so I'm like, okay, if he can have a little fun with his username, maybe I can too. I don't know.
Okay, why not? I mean, it helps you stand out for sure.
That's true.
Okay, so with that, Autumn, tell us a little bit more about yourself. You know, I already threw out some of your titles there, but definitely tell the people who don't really know about you yet how you got into music, and what have you been working on recently that you know would like to highlight. The floor is yours.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, I am just regular girl from Atlanta, Georgia, who loves to sing. But basically what happened is when I was 13 years old, I joined a singing group called We Are Charm. I feel like if you're an Atlanta native, you probably have heard about it. But if you don't know about it, then you need to get hip to it. Okay. But yeah, I used to be in a singing group. I was in 2 versions of the group. Basically, we switched a member out. They ended up leaving, going on their own path, and then we added somebody else. But I was in the group for about 4 years. Then we broke up. But during that time, we had a lot of success, which is kind of how I grew my platform. We were able to work with people like Jazzy Faye, Timbaland. We opened up on tour for Mindless Behavior, and we would perform for the OMG girls and stuff like that. So we were in that era of girl groups and boy groups growing up. And then now I'm a solo artist. My main type of genre is R&B, but I also dabble in pop a little bit, and you know, I try to keep it fresh and current and do a little bit of what everybody else is doing, but my sound is also very, very unique. So just if you want to listen to my discography, you'll get what I'm saying. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's everywhere, all streaming platforms.
I gotta ask you, so like being in that dynamic of, you know, being around different producers and, you know, famous people like that, what is something that you took from being in that, you know, that space to now being a solo artist and doing your own thing now?
That's a good question. I think there's some positives and negatives. I think that when you are around so many people who have clout in the industry or who are known, it's easier to excel, because I feel that now that I'm solo and independent, I'm financing everything myself, and I might not be hanging around these big names. I feel like I have to work 10 times harder to get the same amount of attention. Also, the industry is really shady. When you do see a certain amount of success, and we were by no means like famous, but we did get like millions and millions of streams and views and work with really big people. So I definitely saw a difference between then and where I am now. But when you're a kid and you're going through that type of success, people take advantage of that, especially when you're a young girl. And by people, not to trash men, but I'm saying a lot of men in the industry are really like creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
can
they
imagine.
try to like use the fact that you're young to try to coerce you into doing things that you should not be doing. And luckily enough, our parents were very involved and stopped a lot of that type of stuff from happening. But
Good.
yeah, the industry is like really shady. You got to be careful who you work with. I'm gonna say that.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting that. But, you know, with that being said, I will ask you, what type of advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into your line of work? Especially if they're young.
I would say one mistake I feel that I've made is listening too much to other people, not being fully confident in my own decisions. There were times where I knew, like, no, I want my cover art to look like this, or I want the order to be like this, or I only want these songs on a project. But I would let my parents influence me because I felt like, oh, you know, they want the best for me.
Right.
So I should listen to them because, you know, they wouldn't do anything to hurt me or anything.
Yeah.
Or I would let my friends or just people that I'm working with kind of get in my head about certain things. And I feel a lot of times like if I had just done things the way I wanted to, I would be so much more proud to promote certain things. So like I think that goes for any line of work. Don't put out anything if you're not 100% proud of it just because other people like it or other people think that it's better. Literally do what you think is amazing and rep it 100%. That's my advice.
That's dope.
Okay,
That's
most
dope.
definitely. Speaking of repping, I have to ask. So, as a homegrown Georgia Peach, how did you feel when Amaretta the Great came out with her song "Sorry Not Sorry"?
Look, she was at Truist Park talking mess. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from that girl
Hey, I mean, she said Gwinnett is
in a
not
Braves
Atlanta.
jersey.
Listen, I just had to ask. I had to ask. Like, that's just been like what everybody's been discussing, even like a month later after that video and song went viral.
But that's the point. I think it is smart from a let's get people talking about it
Yes.
perspective. But if she really thought that was like, if she really believes her lyrics, then yeah, she not from Atlanta. She not, yeah.
Yeesh.
I think it was a PR move.
Definitely
Okay.
a smart one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was smart.
She getting booked.
Yeah.
Because she even got Lotto on the remix. So.
Really?
Oh, but she
Yes.
said Clayco's not Atlanta.
Exactly. She said Clayco's not Atlanta,
So
but
how's
she got Lotto on the remix. I don't know.
How that happen?
PR. Yeah, that was some PR.
PR
right there.
move, for sure.
So I got a question to ask you. You know, I know we briefly talked about this off camera, but you said at one point in time you thought about actually quitting music. So I know, you know, some
Many
of the advice.
times.
See some of the advice that you may have for people that are doing music, because I know sometimes you might not see the success up front or for years. So what advice would you give the people for not, you know, giving up on what it is they're doing?
Well, I know the answer, but I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory first.
Okay.
I feel like for me in particular, I think it was more difficult for me to want to keep going because I started off in a group that was really, really successful, and then I kind of started from the bottom as a solo artist. So it was like going from here to you're the CEO at a company, and then you got fired. Now you got to figure that shit out. So I feel like it really wore on my mental health and just me thinking, is it worth it? And also financially, like music, the last person to get paid is the artist. You have to pay literally every single other person. You gotta work so hard for yourself, and it's like nobody helps artists at the beginning stages. So it's just really difficult to take all that on and really truly invest in yourself. But with that being said, the only reason why I still do music is because I literally couldn't stop if I tried. I literally during the day will be at work, working, and I'll think of something in my head. Oh, I gotta record this on a voice memo. And then I'm excited. I gotta go to the studio. I gotta do this.
I like that.
It's just in me. It's like, trust me, sometimes I really don't be wanting to do music anymore, but I literally can't stop. I write music all the time.
Man.
So if it's in you, then that's a sign from God. I feel like that's just a gift that God has given you, and you should, like, that's a slap in the face to him to give up on it if you believe in God. But, you know.
That's real. I definitely can feel that, B. Like, we talk about that, yeah.
We talk about that often, and it's crazy that you mentioned that because, I got chills when you were saying that. I kind of feel the same way about editing. Like, sometimes you'll talk to me about my edits.
Oh, my gosh.
And I just sit down, like, sometimes when I'm working or just doing something, I'm like, I think that'll be a cool edit to try. And then I'll try it, and it'll be, you know, a failure at first, but I'll keep trying and trying and trying to get something right. And then next thing you know, dang, how did you do that?
Yeah.
If it's in you, it's in you.
It's in you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, how did you just come up with that? Hey, man, it's just, you know, I just thought of this. Like, you make it seem like it's just so normal. Like, no, bro, that is something that's a part of you that is just, it draws up out of you in such an organic way that's how you know it's something that you're meant to do.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm with it.
That's how I feel about, like encouraging people. Even though I don't make videos as much as I used to, I go throughout the day and there's just certain things that I want to say, and I'm like, man, like, I just want to get this off of me. It's just like, it's something like knocking at the door. Yo, come on, just tell the people, get this up out of you. Like, I got to get it up out of you.
Yeah.
Because if not, it just keeps coming back to you.
Yeah.
So I definitely can feel that and understand that. So that shows that it's really a part of you.
It really is. It really is. And same with y'all, like the fact that you said that about editing, because trust me, there's a million people in the world who hates editing. I know, because I was a film major.
Sometimes I'll be wanting to quit. I'm just like, I can't stand it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. No, I really want to quit sometimes, but I can't stop.
That's true love.
Yeah. Real talk, real talk. Okay. So so you got R&B singer, songwriter. Now I see this other one. It say actress. Hold on now. You in movies now? What you doing? Like,
Not in movies at the moment.
I was about to say, you better put a yet at the end of that.
Hopefully soon. But no, I was in a short film. I guess that could kind of count, but not really. But no, I was actually the lead in a musical.
Okay.
Which was so fun. I didn't think in a million years I'd be able to do that, because you have to memorize every single line from front to back and perform it. Like, I would have never thought I even had the capacity to remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, let alone a whole musical. But that was so fun.
Dope.
It was so fun, and I want
Nice.
to do it again. But I've also acted in, like, little skits and stuff, and just being a model in certain videos or an extra or whatever. So I think I'm wanting to get back into it more, because I was way heavier into it, like, in high school.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think this is the first actress. Man, first of all, you the first R&B singer, songwriter, model, and actress that we've
All
had
of the above.
all on one show.
Listen.
And hold on, B.
What up?
The first verified person too that we've had on
I'm
the show.
screaming.
That's true.
B.
That is absolutely true.
B. We can't let that pass by.
screaming.
We have a celebrity in our presence.
Price went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Like,
Come
for
on,
real.
man. I'm saying.
If your DMs ain't flooded now, they about to be with our viewers. Man, speaking of, what are your DMs looking like for anybody out there who's watching, who's thinking about sliding in your DMs?
My DMs are probably not what people think. I'm not gonna say they're empty, but they're not, like, flooded with just pro athletes and stuff like that. I've had a few slide in my DMs over the years.
Okay.
But nothing has ever come from it. It's like, I never really meet people through Instagram. I think I always make the best connections in real life. And, you know, also a lot of times, like, unless somebody comes to you the exact right way, over Instagram, I can kind of feel, like, objectified. Because a lot of guys, the mistake that they make, I don't know if y'all be doing this or not.
Speak on it.
They'll comment on, like, a picture of you in a swimsuit or something, and it's like, dang, I got all these pictures and you picked that one.
Yeah,
you know?
I've never done that.
Stop the cap.
That sounds about right for the
I
generation.
can imagine it.
See, yeah, and then guys, another thing they'll do is they'll comment on your story, but they'll just come off like too confident. I like a guy who kind of approaches me humbly, or not humbly, maybe just cordially. Like, I like to see that you have manners and you have home training, and like, you know that I'm a lady, I need to be respected. A lot of guys will be like, hey baby, like, what you got going on Saturday? Like, no, you can't call me baby. And we've never met. I don't know who you are. Like, I don't care if you got a check. I don't care. That's so rude.
It is.
That is so rude. Like, you have to say, hey, this is who I am. You look beautiful. I'd love to get to know you. It's simple. Like, it's so simple.
It's crazy because, Mike, I know you've been out of the game for a while. Mr. Married Man over there. Lucky you.
Put a ring on it.
Right. It's hard out here for single brothers. You feel me? To your point, Autumn, I will say that it might be a little difficult for a guy to kind of gauge who it is that he might be trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Because although you like a gentleman to approach you, there's a lot of women out there who honestly don't care about any of that.
I'm starting to see that.
And yeah, it's just like, it's what a lot of young women are allowing these brothers to get away with. Like, I'll never forget, when I was in college, I wanted to take a young lady out for our very first date. Had the whole thing planned, wanted to have a nice date, whatever. And next thing you know, I get to her place thinking I'm going to pick her up and take her out. She wanted to run to the supermarket real quick. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe she wants to pick up just a few items for the house and then we'll go on our date. When we get there, she's asking me for ideas regarding food. Like, oh, do you like this? Do you like this? And meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking that she's asking me for advice on certain foods to see if she wants to try something different. I don't know. We get back to her place. She's talking about cooking dinner for me. And she just wants to make me food there at her place the very first time we're meeting. Well, I mean, we met in person. We went to the same school, but we didn't really know each other like that. So you don't really know me. I don't really know you, but you want me to come over to your place for the first date, and you're going to cook for me and watch TV. I didn't really care too much for that day because I wasn't really used to it. But I can just tell, like, a lot of women have gotten used to guys coming over their place on the first date and vice versa. And you and I have already talked about how dangerous that could be in a previous episode where so many people are getting set up nowadays thanks to meeting somebody on social media, or even if you just meet somebody in person for the first time and you ask them out, it's like, oh, come over to my place. Okay, cool. Next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of people coming out of nowhere, tying you up, and you got guns drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard the stories. Yeah, we definitely heard that craziness.
I think a lot of women, it's weird to me because I don't ever want people in my space. Like, you have to earn being in my space, even friends. I feel like a lot of women, though, they feel really safe at home. And so for them, it's just easier for you to come over and they do that because they don't have to leave their comfort zone.
Right.
But I do think it's dangerous. Luckily, you're a nice guy. She probably was like, he seems like a nice guy. I feel like I can bring him over. But I get how it could be, like, weird to you if you're like, I'm trying to take you out and you don't want to go out. Like, but it might just be she's really stuck in her comfort zone.
Okay, I never thought of it that way. So that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
So B, I've heard you say this many times, and you say the dating game in today's
trash.
It's trash.
It's trash.
And the crazy part about it is you're not the only person that I've heard this from. So for me, I'm seeing it from a different perspective, and I'm trying to figure out why. So Autumn, would you say the same thing right now about the dating game? Is it trash?
I wouldn't say it's trash. I would say that it can be difficult, especially for certain age groups. I think that society and culture really emphasizes anti-relationship philosophies, and I think a lot of people fall into that, men and women. There's the whole city girl mentality, there's the whole future mentality. And I feel like everyone thinks that's cool, especially black people. But if you look around, black people are the only people who do that. Literally, Hispanic families are very big on marriage and family. White families are very big on marriage and family. Like, literally, any other race you can think of, family is the center of their culture. Black people, it's like, no, I gotta have a lot of hoes, and oh, I gotta have a roster, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's like, when did we play into this mindset that relationships are a bad thing, or like it's bad to be vulnerable?
Ooh, that just made me think of something, B.
What up?
Okay, so Autumn, with you being an artist, would you say, because me and B have talked about this in previous episodes, would you say the music industry has a role of playing in that happening?
100%.
Wow.
100%. I feel like, I mean, think about it. What's the most popular genre right now?
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
It's been that way.
And what is the main subject matter in hip hop?
Money,
women,
And drugs.
drugs,
Money,
cars.
sex, and drugs.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's like, if that's what people are listening to the most, and most of it makes you feel good, it's like you listen to it in the club, you listen to it when you're turning up, so you feel like when you're listening to that music, you feel like, yeah, I'm the shit, I'm whatever. But then it's like, it shouldn't go beyond that, but I feel like a lot of people internalize it and try to make it their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, it's just, I personally don't agree with it. But then again, if that's the direction society's going in, what can I do about that? I don't know.
Well,
I think it's mostly like a cash grab, if anything, because if you think about it, with you being right and saying that that is the most popular genre of music right now, you look at all of what sells the most. You look at artists like Future. You look at artists like, I mean, Drake. Drake has even had a few songs, you know, similar to that. I mean, you know, he's not married, but he does have a child out of wedlock, which, I mean, listen, whatever you do, that's your business, right? I always believe in marrying before you carry. I feel like
that.
that's how it should be. But, you know,
Before you carry.
right, I think that's kind of like a lost art form nowadays, especially in society. And I understand things happen. I really get it. You know, things happen, but I mean, yo, we as a people, we as a collective, we got to be more careful with that, because I know one of my main goals in life, and I touched on this in the last episode, like, I want to have more strong black families.
Yeah.
I want to have like a strong black community, and for us to have that, it starts with the family unit.
It does.
We have to have 2-parent households with, you know, mother and father and the kids. And when we have more of that, we'll have stronger communities, because I mean, the kids are gonna see what mom and dad go through. Of course, nobody's perfect. Things are going to be happening, whether it's good or bad inside the household. But you have most likely better examples of maybe what you should be like when the kids grow older, you know, and they decide that they want to get married and have families.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's my overall idea. Like, I would love to see more 2-parent households, more strong black family units. And I love hip hop just as much as the next person. But, you know, I don't think that in a situation like that, like, life shouldn't imitate art.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's life who doesn't really live that way should really be imitating what they see in the music videos or what they hear on the radio, if that's not what they're about.
Right, and if that's not the life they live too. Because another layer to it is, a lot of these men who are really big artists making this type of music, I feel like because a lot of them came from humble beginnings, there's this really deep insecurity within them, like, why would anybody like me if I didn't have money? And I feel like a lot of them, because of that insecurity and that fear, it's like they want to live this bachelor life because they feel like they can't trust people. And that's a big topic that I hear in music as well. But a lot of people who are emulating these certain lifestyles, one, they don't really have money like that. And two, it's like nobody's like using you
Right.
for financial gain. People genuinely like you, and it's like you're just hurting people for why?
Yeah.
You know? I feel like I could empathize more with the Future and a Drake, because I know there are people who literally, like, y'all probably heard the story of the girl who went to go get his condom and try to stick it up.
Yep, we did a whole episode on that.
And it's like, of course, if I was Drake, I probably would have a lot of trouble really trusting people too. He probably has a lot of issues mentally with like being vulnerable with women. Shoot, he might tell a secret and it's on the shade room. So I empathize with them a little bit, but in terms of society emulating it, nah, because majority of society is not the 1%. They're the 99.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's interesting because it's like, okay, when you think about celebrities, a lot of people idolize them. They look up to them, and it's like a lot of people that don't know, they think all the money that they flashing is theirs. They think that everything that they got or they talking about is real. But clearly, as you were saying, it's not. But it's like if you're looking up to an idol or you're looking up to somebody, you want to be like them. But it's also causing this problem because this is not the lifestyle they're living. But yet, hey, this is what sells, so I'm going to continue to put this out. And clearly it seemed like, maybe the people that are influencing their minds aren't developed enough to understand that, hey, that's not real. But yet the industry knows this and they're just playing on it.
Right, or at least it's not real for me. You know? Like, I am not living the same life as Future, so I don't really have the same insecurities and worries or problems. Like, the saying, more money, more problems.
Yep. You
do not have those problems. So to treat women the same way or to have that same mentality, it's like, why are you doing that, And same with girls. A lot of girls who want to have that, like, city girl lifestyle. First of all, the city girls are both in relationships. Let's talk about that first. They're both in relationships. But, okay, you want to date a scammer and get him to buy you whatever. But, like, that stuff in reality is really not fulfilling or fun. And I know so many girls who date guys who I know for a fact they don't find attractive. They're like, I don't really want him to touch me. I don't want to kiss him, but, like, I'm pretending, which to me is like being in jail. Like, have you ever had the ick for someone and you're just like I just don't, it's physically not there. Yeah. I couldn't imagine being in a full-blown relationship just for a few meals and some Chanel.
Right.
That it just don't make sense to me.
But you'll have some women out there, and this is no offense to the women that are like that, but I mean, I don't know, get it how you live, I guess. But you'll have some women out there that are just gonna do it just because, like, oh, I got a new Chanel bag, or I got the latest Dior sneakers, or something like that. Like, I don't know, man. I really wish that we would change as a collective, and that's one of the reasons why we launched this podcast, because mindset is so important to us. So we like to teach people how to think differently about certain things to where we can just change, because we really need that change.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
It seems like people are afraid to be themselves. That's what it's looking like. It's like nobody wants to just be themselves.
Right. When did being yourself and being where you are not be good enough?
When social media came out.
Yep.
I would probably say even before then, because if you think about it, I mean, Future's not that much older than the both of us. I mean, I think he's almost 40, but not quite there yet. But I'm sure at one point when he was younger, he probably wasn't getting women like that. And then when he got the fame, it was just like, yo, they came out of nowhere. And no matter what, he was like, you know what, I'm just going to rock with it. No matter how many baby mothers I have, no matter how many babies I have, women are still going to want to sleep with me, so I'm with it.
But, he said that actually in the interview. He was like, just fake it till you make it. I know you heard of that, but, like, he said that that's what he was doing at one point in time.
There you go.
And now it's like all that faking became his real life, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, let me continue on with this, because this is what people perceive me as. Let me just continue to show this.
Right.
That's crazy. Well, staying on the topic of music, but kind of getting away from the craziness a little bit. Autumn, let's talk a little bit more about you and what you got going on. What kind of projects have you been working on recently?
So I'm not going to lie, I really haven't been working on anything.
Okay.
I've been taking a little bit of a break because I am kind of in a place in my life where, okay, I'm a college graduate, started a new job, trying to move out, get a car, like, I'm not even going to flex up here on this podcast. Like, I'm not rich at all.
Definitely.
I'm very independent, and I did, have a lot of support from my parents growing up. But the moment I turned to be an adult, it's kind of like, okay, like you're kind of on your own. So with that being said, music is really expensive to invest in. So I took a little bit of a break just so I can prioritize, get on my feet, and then get back into it. But before that, I was recording a lot of music, and I was really, really excited about it. And now, I'm going to just be 100% honest. I've been dating this guy for almost three months.
Okay.
And it's like, I feel like he's been teaching me a lot of stuff and making me think a lot. And it's inspired a lot of really good music to come out of me. So I can't wait to record that, because, like, I could write damn near a whole album about it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Hey.
And I think that's
kudos
real.
to him.
Yeah. And I think that's real of you to show people, like, the real side, let people know, look, I gotta work. I gotta, stack my bread up. I gotta prioritize things and, like, really show people real life. Because that's clearly what we don't see through social media and through music videos and things like that. Because they want to show you the end result, or not even the end result, what they
want you to see.
They want you to see, exactly. So from hearing it straight from an artist, I think that really will help a lot of people out there too.
I hope so, because sometimes I feel like being so open is shooting myself in the foot. Because I feel like a lot of people don't want to support you when you're that real about it. It's like they kind of want to play into the fantasy of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So when people see me being just like a normal person, it's kind of like it takes away that sparkle, sometimes. So I hope it does help some people and inspire some people.
That's what's up.
That's interesting. The fact that you just being yourself, showing that real thing, could take away from what is real. And people actually wanting to, like, be more attracted to what it is you're doing. That's how we know we got something backwards going on in this industry, man.
Shoot, even in dating, like, I've met so many guys who didn't know about my music career. And then when, like, maybe 3 dates later or something, I let them follow me on Instagram. And then all of a sudden they start treating me really different and, like, really weird, like, just being all over me, like, basically amping up the energy and, like, the effort and stuff, and kind of acting like like fanboyish fan behavior. And then there's some people who met me and saw my they saw me on Instagram, and then we meet in real life, and they see that I'm like a genuine person, or I'm a normal person, which I only got like 100-something K. I don't even got that many followers. But I'm saying, like,
I'm at 12K.
It's people with millions of followers. And people go into it thinking, like, you're not how I thought you were going to be at all. But they say it kind of like they're disappointed in a sense. Like, I've been on a few dates where I feel like they rather would have had me be, like, stuck up, use them for their money, use them, and just be kind of like a pretty girl on their arm and not really have a lot to say, which is the weirdest experience to, like, see the disappointment of, like, you're actually not what I thought you were going to be.
Wow.
It's very strange. Very strange.
Something's got to give. Like, we need to change. Like, what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, like, come on. I don't know, man. Just when we first met, it was a genuine connection. Like, we already went over the story, but when we first met, I knew nothing about your music at all. You didn't even bring it up once. You didn't talk about it. Like, we just having great conversation, trying to get to know each other and enjoy the event.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until after, followed you on Instagram, I was like, oh, so you sing, and 100K, and, like, all of the above. I mean, but still never changed my view about you.
Right.
Because I got to know you before all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just crazy how somebody could change their mind just after they find out, after, like, 3 dates.
And it's weird because it's like you were already treating me a certain way, but then it's like you, like, saw that and you're like, oh, I gotta lock this down.
Yeah.
Which that people might hear that and think that's a good thing, but it's very clear when it's because of a blue check, which it should just be because you like me. It shouldn't be because of that, you know.
I think that shows the disconnect now just that we have in the world, and especially this generation, from like reality and then this whole internet thing. Like, it's like the internet has its own world, and then you got to think about there's still real world. Because it's like, think about it, like, right? I don't post a lot, but at times if I don't post a lot, I feel like I'm missing out on something. Bro, I'm still in the world doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but if I'm not in this social media world, it's almost like, dang, am I not really present? Like, people feel like they missing out. So it's weird. That's a very weird space that we're in right now.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie and say I was never like that, because I was at one point. But now I'm at a point to where it's like I'm only really on social media for this platform, like for the podcast. If it wasn't for the, like, I don't even go on my regular social media anymore. Like, if I meet new people and they want to follow me, I'll tell them to follow the podcast. Yeah. Like, you don't even have to worry about following my main Instagram, because I'm rarely on it now.
I'll be honest, me too. If it was not for my music, and because you need social media nowadays to promote, I wouldn't be on Instagram either. I would be happy like posting just for my friends. Right. Like, I have a Finsta, so I do that anyways, but I wouldn't have a big Instagram, or I wouldn't like post publicly. I would have something private and small, but I literally have to. I have to be active.
Okay, what's a Finsta? I don't know what that is.
I just learned what that was like 2 weeks ago.
Fake Instagram.
It's not fake, but it's on Instagram, but you just have your close circle of friends on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm out of the loop.
Not your close friends, but it's like a separate Instagram.
But it's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow.
I literally learned about that 2 weeks ago.
It's just having two accounts.
Okay. I'm learning
one
about
where only your close friends follow you, and then your public one.
Finsta. Is that like the official, unofficial name for it? Okay.
All the official, unofficial name.
All right. I'm learning.
The more you know, right?
For real, bro. You can tell the disconnect, bro, that I have. Like, it's just, I have a disconnect from social media. And sometimes I do it on purpose. I want to be dope in real life, and then, you know, I'll put certain things on social media when I want to, when I feel inspired to. But yeah, I just try to be dope in real life, not just putting on a front.
I like that.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of dope in real life,
what's up?
There's a lot that's been going on in music lately. You know, we talked about a few different topics regarding music, and I don't know if you would want to say that this was dope or if this was a nope. But have you guys heard about Pastor Mason Betha coming back to music?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Mace.
Come
on now.
Former bad boy Mace has returned back to rap again, and one of the very first songs he put out was a diss to Diddy.
How you feel like coming back like that, bro? Why you come back so hard?
I don't know, man. I think it's just everybody wants to have a problem with Puff now. Have y'all heard about former bad boy artist Freddie P from the band talking about Diddy on, like, I think he was on Instagram Live or something?
No.
Okay, so y'all remember Making the Band, right, from back in the day?
Yeah.
So the band was a group of artists that were formed by that TV show, and they were signed to Puffy's label Bad Boy. It had, I think, like 4 rappers and 1 singer and a dance hall artist, right? You had Chopper City from New Orleans. You had Ness from Philly, Babs from Brooklyn, Freddie P from Miami, Sarah from I don't know wherever she was from.
Who the best though? One
of the 5 greatest rappers of all time. Actually, top 5 of all time. Dylan, and Dylan. Shout out to Chappelle's Show for that skit, man. That is a memorable skit. And if nobody knows who the band is, if you watch Chappelle's Show, you would know who the band was. Because that episode was epic.
Iconic.
Yes, so, yeah, man, Freddie P decided to jump online and talk some nonsense about Diddy and how pretty much he screwed the band over, and how Fred still has, like, harmful thoughts for the YouTube algorithm. We can't say the real word. Y'all already know that. But he had thoughts of taking his own life because of what he experienced while being signed to Bad Boy almost 20 years ago.
Like, is it from when they were, like, in the house doing all that stuff, or is it just...
You know what? I didn't watch the full video, but as a matter of fact, for those of you guys who haven't checked it out, I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip so y'all can hear some of what he's talking about, and y'all can make your own decisions.
A lot of people don't understand what a nigga done been through. This year alone, I done contemplated suicide 2 or 3 times. I done pictured my brother walking in, finding me dead. I cried a few times thinking about leaving my son, because you just get tired of life. It's like no matter what you try to do, you just gotta keep battling. Niggas got their foot on your neck, niggas wanna see you fall. And it be niggas, you know what I'm saying, like, it's this nigga Puffy. And my main motherfucking reason why I really hate fucking life, dog. Like, people don't even understand. Like, I don't even give a fuck. But I've never been to a point where I've thought of suicide my whole life. Never. I think I'm a gangster. You know, I partake in my share of street things that might occur. I apologize for my sins every night. But me personally, my own life, the thought alone, I was telling my dog, I'm like, I don't even know how I started thinking like that. Because it done got so bad where I done had it all. And fell to the bottom. How do you come back from that when you battling a giant? It's like no matter what you do, it ain't got nothing to do with your skill no more, because your skill is 90% better than any nigga that's out there right now, and the world knows it. But it ain't your skill, because you can't even get where you going, because of the world is built on relationships. So if a nigga fuck with you, that's saying they don't fuck with Diddy. That's basically Khaled, Ross, all them niggas chose. You think I don't know them niggas? Them niggas ain't never gave me a verse. Them niggas ain't never did. Now, when I first seen Ross, man, after that shit, niggas said, man, I love you, man. You know what you did for our city? I love you, man. In the middle of the club, my nigga. Nigga ain't never gave me, nigga ain't never called back and say, hey, man, like real niggas supposed to. Every artist in Miami look out for each other. You ever seen anyone nigga do anything for me? Them niggas got they deal on the strength of me, man. Khaled, them, and Diddy relationship is built off me, man. That's why them niggas don't fuck with me. That's why they can't fuck with me. Them niggas love, I had love, man. I was the only nigga screaming Khaled name when he wasn't shit, bro. Every city too, every radio station, every event. Khaled the #1 DJ with me, nigga. Cause I'm a real nigga like that.
Wow.
Sheesh. Yeah, that must have been really traumatic 20 years later.
Yeah. I can imagine. Like, I mean, come on. Now Puff made them walk to Brooklyn from Manhattan to get some cheesecake.
Sheesh. Oh my God.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess that was just
cheesecake.
Right. It was all for TV, but, I mean, people still talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. But I can imagine he probably went through some traumatic experiences to the point to where not only was Fred talking about Diddy, and Diddy even issued a statement. Like, he put out something cryptic on Instagram, pretty much talking about, like, for lack of better words, all right, I'll throw what he said on the screen, but from off of my memory, it was something along the lines of get over it. Maybe not as harsh, but that's what I got from it.
Yeah.
That just hurt me.
Yeah, so.
That just hurt me.
Yeah. I guess we'll learn our lesson from the previous episodes. I'll say allegedly. There was something along those lines. I don't want to say Puff was actually saying that. Again, I was going to throw that on the screen, but we learned a lesson, yeah.
Throw that allegedly.
No Tasha K over here. Y'all not suing us for $4 million, because remember, we don't got it. Yet. We don't got $4 million yet.
So wait, what did Mace say? Do we know what Mace said about him, or?
I don't know everything about what he said about him, and of course, for YouTube reasons, I will not play the song, but I do have a couple lines that he wrote down on here.
Spit them bars, B.
One of the lines he said, now when your main artist passed away, for lack of better words, who the hell did you call? Don't ever put Mace with other bad boys who had hard shit. Those were 2 separate lines, so I know it didn't rhyme, but
okay.
You know who those lines were aimed towards. Just from listening to it. He didn't mention Diddy's name at all in the song, but you know after him, when your main artist died, who was Puff's main artist that passed away?
Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie. When your main artist died, who the hell did you call? And then he said, don't ever put Mace with other bad boys who had hard shit. In other words, he's trying to say, like, Mace ain't never fell off. Don't ever put Mace in a category with anybody else on Bad Boy who had hardship. And listen, we all know the Bad Boy curse, allegedly. Anybody who was ever signed to that label, with the exception of, I don't even know, is anybody even still on Bad Boy other than Diddy?
None that I know of. But then again, I don't keep up with him like that. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you think about some of the biggest acts. Mary J. Blige was once signed to Bad Boy. Total was on Bad Boy. 112, Faith Evans.
Cassidy?
No.
Oh, sorry.
He was signed to
Cassie?
Full Service. That was
No.
Swiss Beats label.
No, not
Cassie.
Cassie. Sorry, not Cassie.
Oh,
yes,
Cassie.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Was-
I know
think she
Cassie was
signed.
signed to Ryan Leslie's label, Next Election.
Okay, maybe I'm.
But she probably could have been associated with Bad Boy. I know she was associated with Diddy.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm
But,
thinking of.
yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I know she was with Ryan Leslie's label, but it might have been a partnership with Bad Boy. I'm not sure. But yeah, like all those artists, Day 26, Danny D. Kane, of course Mace, Dream, Loon, G. Dep.
Damn, you really know your music.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to Bad Boy since I was in elementary school, man.
Sheesh.
So, yeah, it was a lot. And who recently passed away last year? He was sick. Passed away after DMX.
Black Rob.
Black Rob, yes.
Yeah.
Black Rob was signed to Bad Boy.
Yeah.
And out of all those people, a few of them passed away, and a lot of them were just dropped out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Like, who's really still making royalties off of Bad Boy except for Diddy? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Gotta throw that out. Allegedly.
Throw that around 3 times. Let's do it. Let's throw it
Diddy not
around.
suing us, man. You rich enough, boy. You don't try to bleed a dry well.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Facts. Well, he must have made Mace pretty mad for him to step down from the pulpit to drop some bars on him real quick.
Right. Because the man was just named head pastor of a church here in Atlanta not too long ago.
That's so funny.
It is. I'm like, yo, what? How are you going to go back to rap and every other word out your mouth is nigga? And I'm like, you going to go from the pulpit to that?
That's so funny.
He said it's in him, bro. He gotta let it out, though.
Bruh, and I know before we cut the cameras on, you were saying maybe that's what God called
Hey,
him to
look,
do.
I can't look. I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so, man.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
All I'm going to say is, Autumn, if any label ever approaches you, I'm not going to tell you what to do with, your choices, but if it's Bad Boy, please
Heard.
think
Noted.
multiple times before you sign that dotted line.
Noted.
You see, you got a bunch of people now that's been grinding for years that really want it, and they would jump at the first opportunity to work with Diddy, man, just
Right.
because of being Diddy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, not me though. No shade to Diddy. Just I wouldn't sign just any deal based off of a big celebrity's giving it to me.
Right.
I don't want a bad deal. I will hold out for a good one. I don't care who it's from. Just as long as they're credible and it's a good deal, favorable for both parties. But I'm not signing to just anybody because honestly, you can make a lot of money being independent.
Speak on
Yeah.
it. Let the people know. Because I think that's very valuable information coming from somebody who's in the music industry. You have a lot of people right now that's just been working. And if they see somebody that has a little bit of like notoriety, they will jump and just sign something, not realizing what's on the other end of that.
Yeah, it's a trade-off because a lot of times when you're signing these deals, like you can be signing away your image and likeness, which means I wouldn't legally be able to use my own legal government name, which is crazy, right?
Wow.
So you got to just really be careful. That was one of the things I ran into when I was in the group. We got really bad deals. That's actually why we broke up because some wanted to sign and some didn't.
Wow.
But yeah, if I had signed, I would be still in a deal today. That's really crappy.
Wow.
And it's just crazy because so much time has passed. But yeah, it's not worth it. I think that deals can be good for exposure.
Okay.
Like, if you're not getting any exposure but you have great music, it might be worth it to sign with the label and do distribution.
Okay.
But you might not need to do all the other stuff that comes with the deal.
Yeah.
Like, you can specify it.
Okay. And just Autumn, off of hearing your story, not saying I'm trying to compare you to anybody, but one of the first artists that came to my mind was Tinashe.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Like, I've been listening to Tinashe for years. Like, when she was a part of her girl group in the early 2010s, the Stunners. Like, I was listening to her since then, and I remember when the Stunners broke up and Tinashe went solo, she was dropping mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, then signed a deal with RCA Records, and then I think released 2 projects under RCA and did what she could to get out. Because she was talking about how bad that deal kind of was, like how they wouldn't let her be her.
Yep, sounds accurate.
Man, that's crazy. And okay, let me ask you this. How'd you know that I was going to bring that up, though?
Because I've listened to her interviews and I've heard her talk about being in a girl group, and every time I hear it, I'm like, dang, that sounds like my story. So yeah, I knew you were going to say her.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You'll be the reason I even know about her.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of her until you started to speak
For
about
real?
her.
She's very talented.
Yeah.
I think that she's just not everybody's cup of tea. But she's probably one of those people who's going to have a really solid fan base that rides for her because she is kind of in a niche space.
Okay.
So
speaking of niche, when we're talking about Tinashe, what would you say your niche is for, how you put out music and the way that you put out music? Or
I don't know if I have a niche. I feel like, honestly, I do think my sound is pretty mainstream. I think the difference is there's not a lot of people with my vocal tone. Like, I do think I have a really unique voice, which is actually something that I'm just now loving and happy about. Like, my whole life I hated that my voice was different because a lot of my group mates, their voices were high pitched and airy, and they could do a lot of really good falsetto, and I had more of a deeper, stronger voice, but I wasn't like too deep. I was kind of in the middle. And long story short, there's just not a lot of mainstream people who have like a more resonant tone. There's people like my fave, Jeannette, but she's very light and airy. And even Ari Lennox, her voice is very unique, but it's very light and airy.
Ari Lennox now.
Man, that's
I love her. And Summer Walker, she can kind of dabble between the two. I think nowadays there's more people who sound like me coming out, but I do feel like I'm more in the mainstream category.
Okay.
I like how you said that. More people that sound like you versus how, you would say, how some people would say, oh, I sound like this person or I sound like that person. No, those people sound like me. I like that.
Yeah, me too, man. I think that's what we need more, man, just in general, like in whatever you do, like be who you are. Like, don't be afraid of that. Don't run from that because, no one can be you how you can be you.
Big facts.
Period.
It's only imitators at that point.
Yeah.
So, I love that. I think we need more of that.
We do, 100%.
Yo, B, I know we talked about this.
What up?
Can we hear what you sound like?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Lord.
Can we
Give
say
us
something for the
give us a
people?
little sample. Let the people know
just a
what
little bit,
Autumn Jeannette is working with.
Okay, I'm going to try to give y'all a little something.
Okay.
Ain't in the business of infiltrating, and I ain't hating. You deserve better than whatever mediocre shit she gives to you. I make you feel free, like you're swimming underneath the sea with me. Ain't nothing better than being loved by me, no. We can get naughty, blowing on smoke exotic, sipping on blue hypnotic, fiending for more narcotic. I got it, what you need, boy, I got it. All yours, undoubted. She don't want smoke, I doubt it.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about, man. Let's go. I love that because it's like when you know somebody got it in, you'll put them on the spot and they perform, man. I love that.
I'm with it 100%.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, we got a superstar in the building. If y'all ain't know, y'all know now.
Big facts.
Thank you.
All right, B, go ahead. You next.
Bro, what?
Drop it.
You know I used to spit back in the day, but that was back in the day. I left that
Oh, well,
life
now
a
you
long time
actually
ago.
gotta go.
Come on,
For
B.
what?
Drop
Now you actually gotta
Drop a
go.
bar
Because
for
you
us,
say
B.
you can spit.
I said I used to. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's been a long time. I retired. I
Pull
left that
some of
mantle
those
on the
old
shelf.
bars out. I want to see.
I know you still remember a couple of them,
I
too,
remember
though.
a couple. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, y'all. We got it first here. B about to drop it.
No. I will go ahead and link my YouTube down in the description box down below. For those of y'all who are watching on YouTube, y'all can check out some of my old songs.
Tomato.
I'll leave the music up to the real artists. You know, I retired. I stepped out the game. I had to leave room for y'all to come through and fill up my shoes. You understand?
Okay.
Trust me, if I was still doing music, I would be today's guest.
Hey, man, I love the confidence, B. I love the confidence.
I love
man.
that.
So yeah, man, it's been awesome so far. Like I have no other topics to talk about other than.
Oh, I was about to.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's get into something spicy.
Okay.
It's not, the episode is not spicy enough. Let's get into some things.
What you got in mind?
I don't know. I need y'all to like put me in the hot seat for real. Y'all put me in the hot seat a little bit with the sing for us or whatever, but like y'all not coming with the heat.
Oh, you want to be in the hot
I need y'all to come with some questions.
Okay. Listen, I bet. Check this out. So I know you said you was dating a gentleman, or you have been dating a gentleman for the last 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Now this is for all the fellas that are watching who might be interested in, you know, getting to know you a little bit better. Are you and the young man that you've been dating, are y'all serious, or is it just something like that's kind of up in the air? Is it casual? Like what's going on?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like we're in that gray area where
Gotcha.
it's like, if it's not, I'm gonna find out real soon. Cause I feel like my feelings are serious, and you just can't read people's minds.
No, you can't.
You know, so it's like, and also guys, I try to let them lead. I try to sit back. I try to be like, you know, I'm not forcing nothing. If he wants to take it to the next level, that's on him. But I know my feelings are pretty serious. Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Now, the next question would be, in that case, since y'all are in a gray area, fellas, listen up. Are your DMs open?
Oh, Lord, y'all finna get me in trouble.
You wanted the spice, so I gotta bring it.
I did want that. I'm gonna say, I don't know. I think they are open.
Got it!
But okay, let me ask y'all this.
Okay.
At what point, if you're not in a relationship, but y'all are kind of like, it's starting to feel more serious than just, oh, we're going on dates. Like, it feels like it's progressing. At what point do you say, even though I haven't been asked to be exclusive, when do I start to set those boundaries within myself? Because I was always taught that you don't be loyal to a single man. But I don't know if that's actually a good advice or not. And I don't know, when do y'all think you should say, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on this one guy? Or should I keep dating until he brings it up and says, you know, I don't want you to date other people?
You want me to get my take first?
Yes.
Okay. So my thoughts is, I feel like men will do only what you allow. So if you set that standard, if you put yourself in a place of like, where, okay, I'm only gonna allow you to a certain place until you show me, hey, this is how you get to that next level, then I think that's how a man will respond. But if you allow men, you know, all the access in the world, of course, they're gonna take advantage of it, and they might not even respect you in the end as much. So my opinion, I would say you should allow him to show that he wants to step up to be in that place. If he hasn't shown, Because to me, I know a man knows what he wants. Is all this, I don't know, maybe. Nah, I don't even play around with that. A man knows what he wants, and he will show you that I'm serious. Because for me, when I was in the dating game, I knew what I want. And when I went after it, it was no like, maybe, maybe not. Nah, like if I'm pursuing you, I'm pursuing you, and I'm gonna show you that. So I think for you, I think it's like you have to. That man should actually show you up front, like, hey, okay, I wanna be something more. I want to do something more and have something more. You know, maybe on an exclusive level.
I want to hear your opinion, and then I'm gonna comment on that.
Okay. So, Mike, I'm glad that you said all that you had to say, because I was gonna say something along those lines. But in all actuality, Autumn, I would say that stuff really should have been established up front. Now, I don't know what you two have discussed, but well, let me ask you this: Have you told him that you were looking to be a girlfriend or eventually a wife?
Yeah.
You told him that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, with that being established up front, like what Mike said, you know, guys know what we know what we want. You know, we know what we're looking for. We know what we want to do when it comes to dating, and we really hold the key to relationships. Like,
Y'all do.
y'all are not really gonna ask us to be boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, we have to do it. And I would say normally y'all not gonna propose, but we talked about it in a previous episode how that's becoming more and more common these days. I swear my future wife better not ask me because, man, pull out that RDC World clip.
We've been together so long, and I just wanted to know, will you marry me?
Oh my God. Bitch, why would you put me on the spot like that and challenge my manhood for everybody? Have you lost your damn mind? Oh my God, yes!
This nigga weak. What?
But, yeah, like, if that's not discussed up front, then really a guy is going to do pretty much what you allow.
Yep.
And at this point, since you've already kind of talked about it up front, and like, have you been throwing out hints or something? Like, have you kind of been letting it known that is
Not
what you
even
want?
hints. I'm not subtle at all.
Okay.
So this is the thing. Our first date, we really talked about like what we're looking for, and he said he wants a relationship, and you know he's older than me, so he's more so at the point in his life where he also feels like he wants to be careful getting into a relationship because he feels like the next relationship he's in, it's like serious, you know?
That's understandable.
I want to be in a relationship. I've never been in a relationship before. I feel like, or as an adult. So I feel like we're in two completely different stages of our lives, but we kind of want similar things.
Right.
I do think now that we've been dating for like 2.5 going on 3 months, it's that weird gray area. He definitely knows where I stand. And sometimes I feel like I know where he stands. But at the same time, I also feel like, you know, he hasn't asked me. So it's like, I don't know. But just to be very candid and transparent, because that's what the podcast is for, I feel like part of the reason why it hasn't gone to that next level is because we've ran into like a few different hiccups, which aren't terrible. They're not bad things that we've gone through. Like, kind of how I was saying earlier, I feel like he's shown me a lot about myself that I need to work on, but I've also shown him a lot that he needs to work on.
Right.
And I think we're both willing to work on them for the sake of the relationship and making it a healthy, like, happy, whole relationship. But it also doesn't feel right, I would say 100%, to get into a relationship when we're still working on things.
Now, when you say hiccups, man, you said you want to get spicy, so can we get some details on these?
You beat me too.
I want to hear about it. I was waiting for it. When you say these hiccups, what do you mean?
I'll give you an example of something he said to me.
Okay.
One thing he told me, which I had a little bit of a clue, but I didn't really understand what he was trying to say, is he felt like I'm not reciprocating. And when we kind of had a more transparent conversation about it, he told me, you know, he feels like courting me and stuff is the right thing to do, but at a certain point, it's like he knows we're not in a relationship yet, but he doesn't want to feel like he's always chasing me. And he felt like I wasn't reciprocating energy or doing things to make him also feel loved and cared for.
Okay.
Rather than it just being all about me.
Okay.
When he said that to me, I didn't really get what he meant by that. I thought, okay, let me be more vocal about my feelings or let me be more affectionate. But that wasn't what he meant. What he meant, which I found out at a later conversation when he still was feeling this way, and I thought I had done more to like fix the situation. Basically, he's not wrong because, like, for example, I've never had texted him first. Because to me, and this is probably because of some internalized issues that I need to work on, but texting first is like so cringy to me. Even now that I've been trying to do it, it makes me feel so uncomfortable. It's like, it just like makes my whole body want to just be like, ugh.
Why?
I think it's because, like, you know, I do have those walls up and I do want someone to prove themselves. And it's like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like weird. And also, like I was saying earlier, I've not been in a relationship as an adult. My relationships were middle school and high school, and they weren't really real relationships.
Like puppy love kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. And my whole adult life, I've been dating. So it hasn't really gone past, I would say, more than 2 months for most people, with the exception of one person that I was in a situationship. But still, it hasn't been that serious type of dating.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always been in the courting phase.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, okay, you said that he feels like he's not being reciprocated enough, right? And you were saying that, is it only you not reaching out to him first, or is it something more than that?
It's more. So, like, I had made a joke, like, I wouldn't cook for him or something. Yikes. Unless we're in a relationship or something.
Okay.
But I said it as a joke. And he had brought it up, and he was like, I know it was a joke, but, like, it would be nice if you cooked for me, though. Like, so that's an example. He said his love language is acts of service.
Okay.
So I guess just being more creative and more thoughtful, paying more attention. One thing, I'm sure y'all have probably done this too, but one thing I realized about myself, not just through dating him, but just I'm realizing it, is I don't always listen. Like, he'll tell me stuff, or my friends will tell me stuff, and it'll come up again like weeks later and I won't remember it. But it's because I'm in my head thinking about other things, which is actually really rude. And I don't even mean to be rude, but it's like, how can you be thoughtful if you're not really paying attention?
This is true.
You know? So I'm trying to work on actively being present, kind of how you were saying, being present, being in the moment, because a lot of times I'm up here, you know? I'm thinking. I'm not really present.
You're here, but you're not here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I can relate. I've done that before.
In what ways?
There have been ways that I've been on dates recently, and no matter what, like, I'm constantly thinking, okay, well, this is taken away from my editing, or this is like how am I gonna, be able to knock this project out that I'm working on, or like, okay, what am I gonna do when I get home? Am I gonna start this first? Or am I gonna start that? Like, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
So whoever's out there listening or watching this, you know who you are. Don't think that I was just ignoring you, please, because I wasn't. Those were just thoughts that came into my head when we were, having some conversations.
Oh, you don't worry, you're gonna get a text later.
Man, good behind the scenes footage though. That's all it is.
Okay.
But yeah, like, you're always gonna be thinking about other things, and I get it. There are certain things that I don't always remember because I'm not always present in the moment, and I try my hardest, even to this day, to do just that. Like I said, you're young. I mean, it's a good thing that you caught it early. You can work on it. You have time to work on it, and not saying that we're too old to learn stuff like that. We can still work. We can still grow.
Yeah.
We can still change those dynamics, but you caught it early.
Yeah.
So when you said reciprocation, you know, that was something that I had to talk to a young lady I was dating months ago about, and
I'm curious to hear your perspective, because even with him telling me kind of what he wants, I still feel like I don't fully understand how to do it.
Okay.
You know?
So when I had to talk with the young lady, my whole thing about reciprocation was, number one, guys don't want to feel like we're being used. We don't want to take a woman out on multiple dates and not get anything in return. And some guys are cool with getting the physical out the way, you know, and be like, okay, well, I paid for these dates. Okay, well, she gave me some. That's good. That's reciprocation. Not all of us are like that, though. Some guys may want a young lady to maybe pay for the next date. Like if he covers the first, second, third, maybe fourth date, maybe she might offer to either leave a tip or pay for like the fifth date, whatever the case may be. Some gentlemen might want a young woman to cook for them. Like if she knows how to cook, it's like, listen, I'm doing all of this for you. Yeah, your time is valuable, but so is my time. In addition to my time being valuable that I'm giving to you in exchange for your time, I'm also fronting money that I work hard for, because, you know, we've touched on this before. When it comes to us men, our value is more so in what it is that we can provide. So we have to work hard for the money that it is that we're getting. Not saying that, you know, women don't work hard for their money, but y'all aren't really looked at as the providers. Y'all are not being told like, oh, you have to pay for the first date, or you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. Like, no, that's on us. And I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of fellas out there that definitely have no problem with that. But if we're putting our best foot forward, we would expect the same from whoever it is that we're courting or dating.
Yeah.
But it makes me think, though. You said something, right? You said, you know, when you brought up the whole cooking thing, right? And you said that you would do it, but it has to be an aspect of y'all being in a relationship. To me, I'm thinking, okay, if somebody, I'm putting myself in his shoes, right? If somebody told me that, I'm gonna be like, okay, we talking, we interested. If she says she'll do it, she just wants the relationship part, then what's holding me back from saying, okay, well, why don't we explore that? Like, why don't we, let me show you, okay, I want to be in a relationship. Now, you know, then let's see if you're gonna actually reciprocate that, what you said.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I mean, so I'm not saying that that's not what he wants, but to me, I'm thinking like, okay, it just goes back to a thing where a man knows what he wants. So
Right, which is why sometimes I question, but also I kind of feel like I know the answer, and it's because like I feel like we're still figuring each other out.
Okay, I
like,
understand that.
I feel like unless things are like super, super steady for a good amount of time, to where it's like, okay, we're in this blissful state, like, and then he asks, it probably wouldn't feel right. I feel like us dating, it's been mostly great, and there's been certain conversations we've had where it's like, okay, like, you know, I just wish you could do this better, or do, you know, whatever. It's never been arguments or anything super negative. It's just like, this is kind of what I want, or what my expectations are, and I want you to meet them. I'm gonna give you a chance to meet them, but this is me like communicating my needs. And I feel like because we're in that stage, it might not feel 100% genuine, like, until we figure that out. But then I think, does that ever end? You might know the answer to that. Like,
what exactly does it ever end?
Like having conflict, or I don't know another word but conflict, but like having those situations arise where your partner might not be happy with the way you handle something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's an ongoing thing of, because we as people, we're constantly evolving into better people. So I think, you know, at whatever point you get to a certain point, okay, you understand each other, but then you grow, and then you have to kind of continue to try to understand each other. So there's going to be things that I know when we first started talking that it might have not bothered me then, or it might have not been a problem then, or we grew past it then, but now it's like, okay, I'm at this place now, so I kind of need this, or you see more of the details, I'll say, especially when you get up there as far as like, you know, marriage and different things like that, because you're really seeing who each other are. When you're in that dating phase, you're starting to, I don't really think you're seeing completely who a person is. So I think that's where y'all are getting to a place too. But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
It did.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
And you next, but you first.
Okay. Guess we being put in the hot seat, huh?
Talk that real talk.
On
we
our
ain't
own
never,
show.
we ain't never had this before.
That's crazy.
What made you want to marry your wife? Like, what was it?
I was more attracted to something internally in her than her physical. And it was just like, I used to talk to many different girls, but I would always find myself comparing these other girls to her. Even though she wasn't around, I would always find myself, it was like, dang, well, this girl, she didn't do what, my wife's name is Wanda, she didn't do what Wanda did, or, what Wanda did would do this, and I would just find myself doing that. And then it was like, every time I was around Wanda, it was just like, something internally that just, I never got tired of. No matter what, it was always a deal breaker with somebody else. They can do I'm talking about, it can be the smallest thing. I can see hair on their arm. I'm sorry, I can't even mess with you. I'm not that interested in you. But it was with Wanda, it was just like, there was never anything that was just like, I cannot be with you. It was always, I can spend the rest of my life with you. So for me, that was the biggest difference. And it just, I never stopped pursuing her. And she made me want to pursue her. Like, I never worked so hard for a woman and to get with a woman. And she still makes me work to this day. But it makes me appreciate her so much. That's why I can tell you, like, don't deprive him, but make him show you, look, I want you, only you. I want to pursue you. I want to figure out everything about you. And then I think it just shows genuineness. Because a man, I think in us, we just have this natural pursuit thing in us.
Yeah.
And when we find something that we want, man, we'll do any and everything to get it.
That's where I am now. That's exactly where I am now. I know I mentioned this in the last episode. I know I have to work really hard for what it is that I want.
Yeah.
And just you saying that you had to work super hard for Wanda,
Yeah.
I know I have to work super hard, even before you mentioned that. Like, I know I got to work super hard for what it is that I want.
Yeah.
She knows who she is.
See?
So, yep.
Because think about it. If a man gets I've had women in my life who literally, I know the first day I meet you, I got you. I don't care for anything after that because it's like, it's just nothing there that's really like solid, or it doesn't mean as much. But when I have to like actually try it with you, like, I might not see you for another week, or like with my wife, like, she was in another country. I didn't see her for years. So, but I still, like, I would try to reach out to her, and it was just something there, and it just, I don't know, for some reason that just made me want her even more. And it's just little things that she does today. Sometimes I think she do it on purpose.
What does she do? Give me an example.
Like, some days, she like, she won't let me kiss her. She'll make me wait. She'll make me ask her more than once. And it's like, okay, you gonna make me work still. And it's something about that is just like, man, I'm mad at you, but I want you more because of it.
Interesting.
Like,
Okay.
I want
okay.
you don't make it so easy for
You're
me to
giving
think
me
that I
some
got
game.
you. And that's what she said. She was like, I don't ever want you to feel like you just got me. Like, I want you to know that, hey, she lets me know that, hey, I love you, but you don't just got me though. You got to work for me. So, and I don't know, I just appreciate it in the end. But then again though, every man is not like me. I'm extremely patient. So I feel like the right man,
You can say that again. Boy, you better than me.
I am extremely patient, but I would say, whomever you're dealing with, I feel like internally you will have something specific for her that will just be that thing that you will have that she needs.
Of course, and I understand that.
Yeah, that's what I feel, man. As far as
I feel it. Definitely food for thought. I was gonna ask you what's your relationship status, but
I mean, at the moment, like, for real, like, I'm single, but I have my eye on somebody.
Okay.
I don't know what the future holds. Like, in all honesty, what's for me is for me. What God has for me is what's for me. Like,
so sorry to interrupt you, but when a guy says that, I always get confused because I feel like it's in your hands.
In this situation, I'm going to be honest, it's not in my hands, because if it was, I wouldn't even be telling you that I was single right now.
So, are you dating?
At the moment, I would say no.
Are you open to it?
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay.
Again, what God has for me is for me, and if by chance the person who I have my eye on is not 100% for me, and God is like, listen, this is who I have for you, be open to that, I might have to explore it.
Hey, yeah, I feel it.
I'm trying to figure this out.
What up?
When you bring up dating, right? What does that mean?
It means going on dates with people.
Okay. But I know. Okay.
Webster Dictionary definition.
But here's the thing. Okay, so it's like the guy you're talking to, right? You're talking to him. Y'all kind of feeling each other. Y'all kind of growing to something. But then yet y'all still going on dates with other people at the same time too. Is that okay?
Me? You're asking about me?
Yeah.
Well, when that happened, that was in the very beginning of us dating.
Okay.
We went on a date, maybe 1 or 2 dates, and he went on a date with somebody else. I'm not going to call it a date. But I met somebody, we kissed. It is what it is. But that was like before there was any type of real, genuine feelings like on my end. Like I was still thinking, he's some dude in my phone. Like, I don't know yet, But I think it transitioned from dating to talking when I started to get deeper with him, like in the conversations, when I think we actually had more of a friendship rather than it's just, I think you're cute and you think I'm cute and we're going to dinner. It was more like I was actually going through real stuff in my life and he was there for me. Okay. So like,
that's what's up.
It's like it kind of evolved from that. And also, 2.5 months isn't that long. But then sometimes I feel like because so much has happened, I feel like it, I'm at the point where I kind of know what it is. Yeah. But then again, it's like I don't want to rush it because it also hasn't been that long. So I don't know.
So does that mean dating is off the table for you?
I'm going to be 100% honest. No, it's not. But have I been doing it? No. Okay. Have I been going on dates? No. But like I said before, there are options out there if I decide to do that. Yeah. But I've kind of made the decision to not, because I feel like it's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to handle. And I also don't want to mess up something that could potentially be a good thing.
Correct.
But at the same time, I also don't want to mess up something that could potentially be a good thing for myself if this doesn't work out. I don't know. I'm kind of like trying to figure that out. And maybe I should figure that out with him and talk to him about it.
So
I would my bad.
No, sorry. I was just about to say, if he's okay, so if he decides to date some going to date right about now, right? Would that be like a deal breaker for you as far as okay, I'm gonna just go start dating people then?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's something I do need to work on because I do have a little bit of a petty bone in my body where it's like, oh, you doing this? Okay, bet we can play that game, bet. But I don't want to be like that. And also, if he were to be dating other people, it would hurt me. It would hurt my feelings. Especially because I have the choice to do it and I'm choosing not to. Yeah. It would hurt my feelings, which is like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it would be a deal breaker. It would definitely be a conversation starter. Yeah. And I think from that conversation would come deal breakers like, okay, we're not in a relationship, but if this is what you're trying to do, like, then I need to dip because this is gonna hurt me,
So it's like y'all in this space of where it's like there's a slight bit of exclusiveness because it's without it being said though. Yeah. It seems like it.
That's that gray area.
Yeah, that's
the gray area.
The gray area.
At least on my end, again, I can't read his mind. I don't know what he has going on. I don't know if he is dating other people. I haven't really asked recently. Last time I checked, he wasn't. But, things can change. And I assume that, people are coming after me, I'm sure he got girls coming after him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what he does with that. I would hope he's not seeing anybody else, but then again, I don't know.
Interesting. You know, I've been out the game for a while, so, you know, I'm just learning. I'm just hearing from different perspectives. You know, I just go based off a lot of what BB telling me, so.
Yo, and I tell you all the time, man, lucky you, because the moment I get a chance to get out the game, boy.
Out.
I'm out.
Lucky you. I'm jealous because, like I said, I've never been in a relationship for real where there's that commitment. And I feel like so many of my flaws would dissipate if I just had that title and that commitment. Mm-hmm. Because I think when you're talking to people, it's always like a question mark. You just aren't 100% sure, and it makes you do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because right now I'm not going on dates, but what if he does one thing and it's like, oh, I'm about to hit this. You want to act up? I'm about to hit, so-and-so. And it's like, I know I have urges of that in my body, but I just am choosing not to do that. But, like, what if I do that? Then it's like, what if I make him mad, he don't want to talk to me no more? It's like, well, we didn't establish boundaries. And I don't know, it's just too complicated for me. It makes my head hurt. I'd much rather just be his girlfriend and I know what's up and it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, if y'all had that conversation or if you've talked to him about it, even in the slightest bit, or even after this, you have that conversation with him, kind of see where it goes. I mean, guys know what we want, like, for real. It's just a matter of what it is that you're willing to tolerate, I guess, in a sense.
He definitely knows I have a timeline. Like, at a certain point, if it's not happening, then I'm just gonna move on.
Understood.
B, I think you taught me something. You do a good job at, like you said, setting those things or talking about those things up front.
Yeah.
I think that's very big. Sometimes a lot of men can't do that because that takes you got to be bold enough to say those things. And because I know a lot of times when we first start to talk to girls, we try to put on this front, or we try to put on this facade of kind of what we think we want you to see, or you want us to be. And then you don't really get to know a person till like after or along down the line. So I think that's really good. So I'm not sure if y'all done that before, but I mean, if y'all can, have those real conversations early.
Yeah, for real, because trust me, when I was like in my mid-20s, late 20s, there was a time where after I got my heart severely broken, I said I wanted to be a savage.
Jerk.
I said I wanted to be a savage, but I still didn't really cross that line. And you know who the young lady is. But I mean, still, like, I couldn't do it. I went, I started dating again when I was ready. And I told whoever I was seeing, I'm like, listen, you're not the only one right now. I'm out here dating, like really just dating. And I want you to know that you're not the only one I'm seeing. I'm just trying to see who's best for me right now. And if you're not with it, I understand. But if you are, then that's cool. Those who wanted to stay around, they stuck around. Those who weren't about it, they did. And I understood that. But I made sure that it was known up front.
Communicated.
Yeah, it got to be communicated.
Oh, you just reminded me of something. One of my very close guy friends, he has a girlfriend, but they have come to the decision that they can have sex with other people.
Bruh.
Interesting.
What?
Very interesting. And he said it's done wonders for their relationship. How? I don't know. But the way he explained it to me was basically a lot of relationships, the glue that keeps them together is sex. Mm-hmm. And for them, the glue that keeps them together is their friendship, their conversations, their love for each other, their romance, their, like, every other thing but sex. And he's like, when you take that out of the equation, it's like, dang, I really gotta like you as a person to stay with you. Yeah. And also, he said it like has really built their trust and stuff. But long story short, I could never do that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But you reminded me of that because he told me that he tells girls up front, I have a girlfriend, and yes, she is okay with this. You can meet her. We can all go to lunch if you don't believe me.
Oh, man.
But literally, she's okay with this, and you know, it'll never go past sexual encounters and friendship. And a lot of girls be going for it. And I was just shocked because I'm like, oh my God, like, but one thing guys don't get though, mind you, this isn't for me, but one thing y'all don't understand, you win so much more with honesty with women than with lies.
I was about to ask you that actually.
Hey, like I said, I was always upfront. And I understood that early.
Yeah. So, like, I just was saying all that to say, like, if you're just straight up with women, there's going to be some who aren't with the program, but a lot of times they'll weigh the pros and cons and be like, okay, I'm still attracted to you. I know what it is up front. I don't have to get my feelings in it. Cool.
Dang. I ain't never heard that before. That's different. Yo, I got a girl, but, you know, we can... What?
And you know what? What I think about it is, okay, so I left a comment on our boy Arthur Kick's channel. Right? He had one video that he put out sometime last year regarding... Let's see, I think it had something to do with a guy who was in a relationship and women were like hitting him up out of nowhere. And it's just like... I don't know if I don't think you and I have ever had this conversation, but I know I've had this conversation with other friends, you know? Like, anytime when we're single, nobody cares. But the moment we pop out with a woman, every woman that, you know, was ever interested in us, now they want to speak up. Now you know, I've always had a crush on you, you know, I've always liked you, this, that, blah, 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 whatever. And they're willing to mess with you even though they know you have a girl. Because
do you know why?
I have an idea of why, but I would like to hear your perspective first.
So, I think that there is a certain subgroup of women. Mind you, I'll be very transparent. I've been one of those women before. I think there's a certain subgroup who is so insecure that they feel like the only way to show that they are valuable is to steal somebody from someone else. So, if the moment you get with somebody, whether you're in a relationship or not, like the moment they see you with somebody else, it triggers this feeling in them like, oh wait, I like him. That's a very red flag to me because it's not genuine. It's like this insecurity flares up in them and they're like, I need to get him because it'll prove to myself that he chose me over her, you know? And as somebody who has been through that, like, one of my exes had a girlfriend and I still was in love with him, and basically I felt like he was mine first. So is it really like cheating if I take him back because he was mine first? But mind you, I didn't do nothing with him. But I definitely felt like, you know, when he would be in my DMs and stuff, or like be talking to me and saying whatever, or saying, oh, I still love you, I don't really like her like that, or whatever, it made me feel an ego boost. Like, because this is the same guy that broke my heart. So also it's like, yeah, like, it's an ego boost. It's like, okay, you broke my heart, but now, like, I got the juice. But that's a bad way to feel. And even in dating, there would be many guys that I would date, and then I wouldn't like them. And the moment that they showed somebody else attention, I'm like, oh, wait, actually, I do like you. Let me act right. Like, let me change my ways. Now that I'm more mature, I understand why I was doing that. But it's because when I got my heart broken, I felt so unvaluable and so low and like shattered that I felt like the only way to prove to myself that I was valuable was not just to have a man, but to take a man.
Dang.
Dude,
you know?
That kind of makes sense. Well, okay, would you say this? Would you say women are very territorial then?
I would say yeah. I would say yes. I would say it depends on the woman. For example, if I'm out with my man and some girl is all up on him, I'm going to be giving her the look. Like, you got about 2 seconds to back up. You got 2 seconds before I have to show out and get kicked out of this club. But I'm going to give him the 2 seconds. And I want to see what he does too. Because also sometimes, even if you feel territorial, you're like, oh, that's how you want to act? Okay. I'm petty. Okay, bet. Two can play that game. You're gonna get a taste of your own medicine.
That definitely is very true. That is very, very true.
I'm realizing how petty I am as I speak. Like, I need to work on that.
Huh.
Well, it's good that you acknowledge that, because, you know, I used to be extremely petty. Like, I was the type of person to where it was like, yo, you want to be funny? I'm going to be hilarious. Like, I'm not even just going to match what you're doing. I'm going to one-up you, maybe even two-up you, just to let you know where I'm at. I had to grow out of that, man, because it's dangerous, or it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
What is it? An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
Yeah.
When
That's
you want to get revenge, be prepared to dig 2 graves.
Ooh.
Dang. I never heard that one, but
That's
those are bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question though, V, because I definitely see that. Like the people I'll be working with, they be definitely telling me that, like, when you get into a relationship, it's like everybody come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I want you. I want to be with you. And it's like, it doesn't stop there. It's like, even when you put a ring, you would think this ring will stop women. No, it actually made them look at me very much different. Like, wow, like, it's something about commitment, I guess. When a woman sees somebody that's committed, I'm guessing it shows, like, wow, he can. I heard this from another woman. It shows that he's able to do something with a relationship, but he's more, like, stable, and that makes him attracted to a man more.
It's that, but it's also the fact that your wife chose you to spend the rest of her life with. Because it's like, oh shit, he must have, like, amazing qualities for somebody to want to spend their life with him.
Wow.
You know, because I don't know why that kicks up that feeling, but it's like you look at guys and you're like, she said yes, like, oh, okay, he must have some really great things that he brings to the table, you know?
Wow.
It can be both ways.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. And they're like, I want a piece of that. Whatever that is, I want it.
Let me go dust off a fake ring I got at the house.
I'm screaming, go sit at a bar.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so after all that's being said, was that a little spicy for you right there?
We got into some things. I'm glad we didn't end it off without getting into some things.
For real. I mean, it was coming eventually. I'm telling you, it was coming. I was about to lead right into it, but she was, turn it up. He was like, turn up the heat. I need some spice.
I love how you ask questions, though. Like, from the moment, like, we all met, too. Like, you ask questions, and I like that. Like, you actually want to know about, like, why we as men do certain things, or you want to understand more. So I really think that's dope, and I think that when you do get in a relationship, like, it's gonna be very, very, like, good.
Oh, thank you.
I really do, like, because you want to know, you want to learn, you want to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. It's not like you're like a Miss Know-It-all, like, oh, I got this. I know how to handle men, blah, blah, blah. Like, at the event, your hand was raised probably more than any other woman in that room. Like, you were very inquisitive. Like, you really wanted to learn more about us and what it is that we as men want, or how we act when it comes to, like, the pursuit or just dating overall.
Yeah, because I feel like I know how women are. I know how I am. And y'all, it's like every experience I've had with a guy is different. And, you know, I have a lot of good guy friends. And the way they explain things to me, it makes sense. But then my dating experience is so different from the type of guys that I'm friends with. So it's like I get really confused.
Okay.
So I do really want to know and really want to understand. And I do want to be a good girlfriend one day, a good wife one day. Like, whoever my man ends up being, I want to make sure that I'm the best possible partner that I can be.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And I think just that want in itself will allow you to see that. So I think since you want that, you'll see that. I always, I live by this. Whatever you're seeking is actually seeking you. So
I love that.
Believe in that, because it is. Like,
I'm stealing that. I'm putting it on Twitter.
Please do. Please do. Everything in my life right now.
About to go viral.
It's here. So
yo, just make sure when you do that, tag Residual Impact podcast, because you know you do follow us on Twitter. Make sure they know where that came from. You feel me? Nah,
I got
but
y'all.
Like, yo, real talk. This has definitely been a pleasure.
Yes.
It's certainly
I've had so
been a
much
pleasure.
fun. I could talk to y'all for hours.
For real. If only I had more memory cards to put in that.
I know, right?
I don't want to chance nothing, because we've already had a little, You know what I'm saying? Camera cut. But y'all wouldn't know that because my editing skills are top notch. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta,
woo, 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 pew, pew, pew.
Alright, B. Well then, hey man, come on, man. What time is it then?
Oh, you already know what time it is,
What
man.
time is it, B?
It's time for that dessert.
Come on, man.
It's time for the question of the week.
Okay.
But before we get into the question for this week, we gotta go over the answers from the question from last week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
What was the question of the week for last week's episode?
So the question from last week was, what is one thing you would most like to change about the world? Now, B, I think it's only right that we allow our guests to answer this first.
Okay.
I would like to change the need to be perceived a certain way. And I would hope that more people could just be themselves and find fulfillment within that.
Like that.
Yes. Deep. What you got for the answers, man?
I already gave my answer in last week's episode, but, you know, I don't mind reiterating it, even though I kind of alluded to it a little bit at the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
Just the dynamic between black men and black women. I would love to change that because I feel like this gender war between us that we have right now is terrible.
Yeah.
And when you asked me how dating was and I said it was trash, I think it's because of that gender war. Like, we have so many preconceived notions from us black men. Like, we have so many preconceived notions about black women and vice versa. Not to say that all of us think that way, because all of us certainly do not think that way. We don't all have those preconceived notions, but there's a bunch of us who really think that the other person is a certain way, and it's like, oh, I refuse to do this or do that or deal with them this way or that way because this is the type of person that they are. When in all actuality, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I'm the type of brother that's a complete gentleman, you know what I'm saying? I'll do things for my woman if I'm interested in you, even if, like, the pursuit. Like, you don't have to be exclusive with me in order for me to open your door, pull out your chair, like, all of that. Like, that's just me. Like, that's what I do. That's what I'm about. I wish more of us would be that way. And I wish more women would be... I don't really want to speak too much about women, like, because I'm not one, but I've dealt with enough to know that not every single woman would appreciate something like that. Yeah. Like, so many of us guys have been told at one point of our lives that a woman doesn't want to date us because we're too nice. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that a lot of women really grow out of that phase because, I mean, sometimes they'll get to the point to where it's like, okay, well, my clock is running out, my biological clock is running, and maybe I might want to find a nice guy all of a sudden. And it's like, okay, well, you had all this time. Why did you keep pushing these guys to the friend zone? You know? And again, that's not all women. It really isn't. But I know from personal experience that's happened to me. I know some other people, whether I'm close with them or not, like, it's happened to them as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that there's a lot of things that have happened to young women that they wish that we would change, and I get it. I really want the dynamic to just change between us so we can have more black families. Like, I'll never forget this one post I saw on Instagram. It said, husband and wife, let's do more husbands and wives, please. Baby daddy and baby mama's too ghetto or something like that. And I know, like, I don't really like throwing out the word ghetto because that just gives a negative connotation about us as people. But for real, man, again, I know things happen, but come on, can we have more husbands and wives in our community? Can we have more two-parent households in our community? You know, that's what we need more of as a collective.
I agree.
I totally agree.
Definitely agree. Preach, brother, preach.
Thank you. So, Mike, what about you? What was your answer?
Mine was, man, short and sweet, man. I wish we can change gun violence. I think that's such a problem. I just never agree with the idea of just you can take another person's life. Who gives you that power to just do that? And man, let's just go back to going with our hands, bro. Like, nobody don't want to throw hands on. Like, you can live to see another day with hands, but once you pull that trigger, bro, like, come on, man, that's it. So I wish we can just change gun violence, bro, and just get away with that for some way, somehow.
Okay, Papa Willie. All right. You know, let me find out your son named Craig.
Hey, man, come on now, Craig. You can live. You can live to fight another day. Nah, but that's real talk, like, for me.
That's what's up. So definitely, I mean, we had a couple different responses here. Not many, like the normal responses we get, but starting with our boy, the Roll Up. He said the one thing that he would change in the world would be that Russia would chill the F out before we turn into 28 days later out this MF.
This guy.
Ooh, he's not wrong.
This guy.
He is not wrong.
He said, we need more world peace, man. We need more folks minding their damn business. We need people to understand that the entertainment industry is just that. Minding your business and being peaceful will shuffle the BS to the bottom and the real S, like us, to the top.
Pew, 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 pew. I should be the sound effects person.
Yo, real talk. Why buy a sound effects boy when we have our sound effects person in person?
Facts. Shout out to the Roll Up, man.
Shout out to the Roll Up.
Yeah, he put his heart into that. I felt it. I felt that he was spitting.
You speak that real.
Always. And you know what's crazy? He probably had one sparked while he was typing.
You already know he was literally high when he thought of that. He was in deep meditation on that one right there.
I don't think the Roll Up is functioning well without sparking. You know what I'm saying? That man always blazes.
That's where he get the best ideas, man.
Of course. So from will to create entertainment, he said, change the way we treat each other as a whole, especially within our communities. Other cultures support and uplift one another, but ours degrade and bring each other down.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Big facts.
That's definitely something that we need to change, and that kind of ties back into what I said, and I definitely won't go on my soapbox again and speak all of that, but yo, for real, we need our own community to just be different, be better. We need that.
Yeah, we gotta get it together.
Yeah.
I do think there's like more of a conversation about it though, so I feel like it'll happen.
I hope so, like, cause one thing that I see, especially nowadays, is everything that goes viral is negative.
Of course.
Like we talked about in the last episode, that viral clip from Hardly Initiated podcast that people kind of like took out of context because they didn't watch the full podcast episode, but it was so nice to have that viral clip and just speak on what the young man Ryan said, like regarding women who are high earners.
Well, shout out to Will for that very philosophical. I ain't even gonna say that word. Hey, I can't say it. We ain't gonna do that. Hey, shout out to Will. Shout out to Will for that dope answer. We definitely appreciate that, and everybody else that answered the question, especially our guests.
Aw, thank you.
So
thank you, Autumn.
We did talk about this earlier. We're gonna do something a little different. We want our guests to actually give us the question that we're gonna have for next week. So I know you said you wanted to come up with something organically on the spot. So do you think you got some right now?
I got something.
Okay. Give it to us.
So since I felt like I was talking about this a lot in the podcast, my question to your viewers are, what is a flaw that you have in dating that you feel you need to work on? Let's practice a little bit of self-awareness. Let's talk about it. Wow. And how are you going to work on it? Boom, mic drop.
Facts.
Literal. Literally, mic has been dropped. So yeah, that's the question of the week, people. So y'all know how to get at us. You can follow us on Instagram if you're not following us already, because I know you are, right? But if you're not following us, make sure to follow us at Residual Impact Podcast. And don't forget, we put the question of the week up every single week. Make sure you leave a comment under the post and answer the question. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just drop a comment down below answering the question of the week. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you can always email us at residualimpactpodcast@gmail.com if you're old school like that. Nothing wrong with it. Or you can hit us up on Twitter at Residual Impact. So, with that being said, Autumn, thank you so much for stopping by today. It has been a
Thank
wonderful
you for having me.
episode. You're welcome.
I had such a great time.
As did we. So, yeah, just let the people know real quick where they can find you.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Instagram and Twitter at They Fall for Autumn. And then you can find me on all streaming platforms and on YouTube by typing in my name, Autumn Jeannette, which is spelled AutumnJeannette.
Thank you for spelling it out for the people. I always appreciate that, because sometimes we don't get it.
Now, for the people who are watching us, they'll definitely see how you spell your username. But for the people who are listening, because I noticed that there's a slight difference in your username that if they just type in "They Fall for Autumn" without the change that you have in it, they won't know how to find you. So spell that out for them, please.
So my @ name is @THEYFALL4AUTUMN.
Perfect. Yeah, because people will type in FOR instead of the number 4, and they'll find a different Autumn. Yep.
Big facts.
So y'all need to find the real Autumn. Don't do the FOR. It's the number 4. Okay.
Not the imitators, yo. Only the original around here.
For real. So, episode 28 in the books, brother.
28, man. Hey, we have officially, well, we been did it, but we have surpassed the statistic of podcasters who start podcasts don't make it past 5 episodes, man. We are double, triple, quadruple that already, brother. So
that's crazy.
I think that's enough to, at least, man, like Autumn said, raise the roof, man. Clap our hands.
I love it. Let's get it.
We have done something, man. Like,
y'all are doing it. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Man, we greatly appreciate it. And Autumn, this definitely cannot be the last time you stop by and grace us with your presence.
Yes.
For real.
Part 2 loading.
Hey.
What season is this?
We don't do seasons. We just gunning it.
We just keep going.
Keep going.
Well, whenever y'all got a season 2, I'm there.
Season 2 could be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just going. We're going to keep it going. But definitely, we would love to have you back because this has been a great talk. And we definitely want to see, what's next for Miss Autumn Jeannette and, see what projects you have going on, check up on the dating life. Because, again, I'm sure after this episode, my brother's going to be really in your DMs.
DMs is going to be popping. If
they not already.
They go like, oh, she's dating, huh? Okay.
Hey, we talked about that challenge. Hey. People see it as a challenge. Oh, she got 2.5 months? Okay. Yeah, that ain't nothing.
Oh, Lord. Yes. I'm nervous.
But yes, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. We love that, the way that we have met you and just the relationship that I know this is only the start of it. So I hope that we can have you on again one day, for real.
Yes, same.
Thank you.
Most definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Residual Impact Podcast. We greatly appreciate it as always, and you know that we cannot leave without saying,
where you are today is a residual outcome of the thoughts that you had in the past.
Just like that. Tune in next time for episode 29.
29, brother.
And make sure y'all say to them that 28 is your favorite thus far.
Ooh.
Boom.
Y'all heard it.
She said it.
Y'all heard it.
Her words.
Amen.
It's true.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Hey.
Peace.